Greetings and salutations, everyone. Hopefully, y'all can hear me. So, it is Sunday night, at least here in America. We're trying this at this time. Hopefully, it will allow more people to um, hopefully, it will allow. Stupid. Hopefully, it will allow more people to come in here and hang out and see this and all of that fun stuff. So, for those of you that don't know, I'm the Music God. I have a channel here called Music God Reacts. We also do the podcast here, which is called The Noise Reports. And yeah, it's only rock and roll, but I love it still. All kinds of fun stuff. So let's just kind of chillax here for a few and see if any of y'all jump in and see what's going on. And, we're just going to kind of play on the phone here a little bit, I think. And, we're going to talk about today. I have all my stuff here. So, for those of you interested, I am taking requests for the reaction channel. If anyone is interested in appearing as a guest on the podcast, we can make that happen. We're going to talk about my foot injury. I got my foot down here. It's all bandaged up and everything. That fun stuff. Yeah, it's going to be an hour of randomness, hopefully. Maybe. So, got everyone on Facebook cracking up with my memes. NFL Sunday. The Lions won. The Patriots, I don't know about. The Buccaneers won. The Cowboys won. I don't think anybody cares about the Dallas Cowboys, so boo-hoo. All kinds of new music coming out, so we'll discuss that, and we'll just wait and see if anybody pops into the chat, and hopefully some of y'all, jump in and stay, and we'll talk about anything. Talk about the reaction channel, the podcast. I had a very special guest this week, so we can discuss that. For those of you that don't know, I have a TikTok. I have Instagram. Pretty much find everything at Music God CJ Plain. So whether it's TikTok, whether it's Instagram, whether it's Twitter, any of that, you can find all of that there. Hopefully everyone can hear me okay. For some reason, this thing doesn't indicate at the bottom if the mic is working or not, but it's indicating fine over here. If you can see, some nice shiny lights that so we did reactions this week. We did some John Farnham. We did some Jimmy Barnes. We did some Jimmy Barnes and John Farnham together. So, hopefully everyone enjoyed those. Those went over well, it seems. I'm a huge Jimmy fan. I'm a huge John fan. John is new to me, obviously. Jimmy's not. Jimmy, I discovered. Shieldsy in the house. Mr. Shieldsy, how are you? Fine, sir. So as I was finishing my thought, Jimmy I knew from way back. Jimmy, as I stated before in one of the videos, I kind of discovered Jimmy in a bargain bin, the Freight Train Heart CD. I think it was like $2.98, $2.78, $1.98, something like that. I don't remember, but it was less than like $3. I bought it and been in love with it ever since. Of course, I was a fan of Australian music before that. So I guess you guys call it pub rock. I've never heard that term before, but I would have honestly associated pub rock with more, I guess, like Philadelphia, with like bands like you know, Southside Johnny and early Springsteen, and a band like Tommy Conwell and the Young Hearts and that kind of stuff. So it's a cool term though. I like it, like pub rock. Like that's, it says right. And I would imagine pub rock to me would be bands like Midnight Oil or The Living End or something like that. Like, yeah, it was an amazing find. As always, I was looking for something completely different, and I come across a gem. I have a weird knack for that. Like, I'll be looking for something, then I'll find something else, and I'll end up liking that more than what I was actually looking for. And I've discovered so many of my favorite bands that way. Nightwish. I actually discovered Nightwish that way. I was looking for stuff from a band called Within Temptation, and I discovered Nightwish by searching Within Temptation. I discovered a lot of Japanese bands, a lot of the Japanese metal that I love. I discovered in that sense. Farnham is new. Like I said, I heard that name for so long, and I just never kind of got around to it. And there's other ones as well. Like, I can honestly say I've never heard Guy Sebastian sing. I know who he is, obviously, from being the judge on The Voice, among other things, but over there, but I've never heard him sing. I've never heard One Direction sing. I've never heard. There's so many, I guess, whether they're good or bad. There's people that I hear about that I don't always automatically listen to, simply because Dr. Cap, hello. So glad to see you. But anyways, the videos that I've done this week, I've done, like I said, the Farnham and the Jimmy. I have some other great Australian bands that I'm going to be introducing you guys to if you don't know them already. Blake Sabin, very good friend of mine from the eastern side of Australia. And he has a band called the Urban Chiefs. He's also associated with a band called the Snake, Southbound Snake Charmers. It's a mouthful. So we're going to introduce you to them. We're going to introduce you to my very good friends Cassidy Paris and Steve Janevsky. Steve has been around for years and years. He's an old school metal hit or hair metal type of guy. His daughter is Cassidy Paris. She's younger, beautiful, ambitious, and she's a female rocker of the first class. She's in her early 20s. Steve has a band called Wicked Smile, a little heavier, kind of in that Dio vein. Cassidy is very much in the she's kind of between that hair metal, Poison, and Hailstorm type of vein. Yeah, I figured a lot of you were going to be on the East because I know, I honestly don't know a ton. Here's my knowledge. This is going to sound horrible. This is my knowledge of Australian geography. I flew into Perth to see Kevin Bloody Wilson. Now, when I got there, somebody said, "Hey, mate, would you like to go on a hike?" No. Why? Because you guys live in a country where everything tries to kill you. Spiders, snakes, bugs, just everything. It seemed like, the research that I had done. And I know it's not all of our story, and it's really, honestly, is a joke. But y'all got some mean, nasty critters over there that I just was not trying to see, meet, or mess with in any capacity. So I was kind of like, no, man, I'm good right here. I'm gonna chill by the poolside and just chill till dinner, and then we're gonna take in the show, and then I'm gonna chill by the poolside, and then I'll sleep and chill by the poolside. So, but I had fun. One of the best steaks I've ever eaten there. Um, Even tried seafood. I'm not a seafood fan, but I did have some very good seafood there, which says a lot about y'all's country because it takes a huge feat to feed me seafood and for me to enjoy it. So, yeah. Completely lost my train of thought. I did injure my foot as I was telling Shields over here, in the process of redoing the stairs to my basement. One of the stairs broke, and I caught my foot between the stair and the side of the stair, and I twisted it really bad, and I snapped a bunch of the bones on the side of my foot, and just did lots of nasty damage. And they think I'm going to have bone spurs in there, which are going to have to be removed to an operation. And obviously, turning 52 years old this year, you don't heal as quickly as back in the day. So that sucks. So I'm hobbling around, and I'm kind of, limping my ass around, and my foot hurts. And we on the Eastern Coast apparently talk with a certain twang compared to the Westies. I don't know. Like I've never explored enough. I know I want to come back. All jokes aside, there's so many bands that I want to see. I want to see The Living End live. I want to see Jimmy live in whatever capacity it is. I mean, I realize it's not going to be Freight Train Heart era Jimmy, but I'm okay with it just being him performing soul stuff or blues stuff, or, it could be Jimmy just sitting in a chair with him and an acoustic guitar, and I would be perfectly fine with it. I want to see the Teskey brothers. I want to see Cassidy and Steve perform. I want to see, I would love to see Airborne perform. I really love Airborne. I know a lot of people are probably going to say they were an AC/DC knockoff, but I saw them perform here, and they were so much better than AC/DC. Baby Animals, a band that I love. I don't even know if they're together anymore. I know at one time the singer was married to the guitar player of Extreme, Nuno. If it's the same band I'm thinking of. Bad Animals or Baby Animals was Susie Dharmachari, right? Or however you say her name. I'm a 71 model. I'm a 71 GMC pickup, beat to hell, rusted, but still moving, bro. I can still haul a load. I've Demarchi, yeah. I knew something. I'm horrible with names. Somebody commented that they thought it was funny that I got John's name right. And I was like, oh, that's probably the first time I've got his name right, because every name I butcher names horribly. Like I've slaughtered so many names doing this stupid reaction thing that it was like, you just whatever. So, one thing that we are going to be doing going forward is I'm going to be doing music reviews, like whole CD reviews. And as I get this new music that's coming out, we're going to be reviewing, such as the new Youngblood that's coming up, or that just came out. We're going to review that. We're going to review the new Ozzy, the new Skid Row. There's some other great new stuff coming up as well. That, yeah, 71. Ugh. I'm a 1971. I'm an Aries Taurus cusp. So, for those of you that are into astrology, so to speak, I have that fierce bull or bull side of me. And then I'm sorry, I have that fierce ram side of me, the Aries side. I am Norwegian. My family is Norwegian and Irish, Viking heritage. So when you take the Viking, the Aries Taurus cusp, and add it to me growing up on a 400-acre farm and being a truck driver, it's just, lots of bullheaded thickness. And I think, this scar here, when I got hit by the chain, didn't knock me off my feet, didn't knock me out. And it's just, I think from growing up, you sucked it up. You didn't cry. You just kept moving. As long as your feet were moving, you were good. You were alive. So I've done that my whole life. Probably do well in the outback, because I love the outdoors. I love the rugged life. I'm okay with just the basic necessities. I would be okay living somewhere with a hut and a stream behind it and having to just grow my own food and live off the land. I don't know if it's from my ancestry or what, but it's you kind of just go, life is weird, life throws a lot of curveballs at you, and you either adjust to it or you don't. The people that adjust to it, hey, you're successful. And those that don't adapt to it, well, you have a hard life. You end up whining a lot, or you end up just not getting where you need to go. And, I'm not rich by any means, but look, like I said at the end of that one video, I'm thankful every day that I wake up. This right here, that could have been the end of it. Oh, 38 years old, dead on the side of a mountain highway in the middle of America because a chain killed me. God chose otherwise. So, Mount Isa, far west Queensland. Yeah. My knowledge of the outback is Kevin Bloody Wilson talking about Kalgoorlie. That's kind of my knowledge of it. Like, I know it's huge, it's rough, it's rugged, and it is someplace that, you got to be a badass to, you got to be a badass to hang out there and survive. So, more power to anyone that does, man, and mad respect for that, because, they say with age comes knowledge. I don't know if that's true, because I don't know if I'm actually getting smarter or if I'm just getting better at being a dumbass. Like, it's, yeah, that's about all I know too, right? I've never been there, so I don't know. Like, but in all honesty, there's huge chunks of America as well that I know nothing about, that I've never explored or been to. Or I did live in the South, so I know a lot about the South. I grew up in the Midwest, which is where I live, but I've never been to the northeastern part. I've never been to Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, Massachusetts, any of that upper part. So I couldn't tell you the first thing about that other than it's cold and a lot of horror books are written about it. And I like seafood. And I don't, I guess, which is why I don't go there. So uh wisdom more than knowledge. Yeah, like um man, like maybe it is wisdom more than knowledge because I guess when life knocks you down and you just get back up, but you kind of learn that hey, that didn't work, so maybe do something different. But um, the one thing I never give up on is learning, is knowledge. Because again, I have, I know you can't see it, but right here, where my this hand is over here, I have 3 external hard drives, and they are 4 terabytes a piece, and they are full of music. My desktop computer is 2 terabyte. That is a lot of music. So I have probably between all of it, I probably have 10 and a half to 11 terabytes of music, 2 million plus songs, probably 100 plus genres. I've been doing this for 35 plus years. I started, well, longer than that. I mean, I've been listening to music my whole life, but I started as a musician when I was 15, started playing bass, started writing songs, played in bands. I've toured with bands. I've performed metal music, country music. I've performed Southern rock. I've performed a punk. I've, to mining town. Yeah. Quite a few, I guess quite a few of the towns out that way are basically mining towns, right? Like, I think I remember, and correct me if I'm wrong in this, but I want to say I seen a story on YouTube, and God, I may be completely wrong about this, but there's a town, I want to say, that's built like completely underground. It's like a mining town, and they build it underground because it's so hot that essentially it's cooler underground or whatever. And that, like when you roll into town, it just looks deserted, but they have all of these tunnels and different things. And then they use, sunlight to come in to light it and everything and heat it. And I may be just remembering something wild and crazy, and that may be true, but Cooper Petty. Okay. I I didn't think I was going crazy. To me, it sounded crazy, but it sounded. I'll tell you this story. One of my first girlfriends, I was about probably 13. Her dad was a Vietnam veteran, and he had PTSD really bad, and had this horrible fear of people stinking up on him. Well, see you, Cap. I appreciate you coming in, and we'll definitely be doing more really cool videos. So hope you enjoy them. Be safe, be well, and if you need anything, I'm right here. But anyways, he had this fear of people sneaking him out, so he built his house, and this was in like 1983, 1984. He built his house into the side of a hill, and had one door in and one door out in the front. The roof was the actual hill. You could like walk right up across the roof, and it was surrounded on 3 sides by the hill, by the mountain, or the hillside, and it looked like a big giant hobbit house, kind of. And it was an earth house, and this thing was incredible. Like you barely knew it was there until you drove like right up on it, because it just looked like it was basically built into the side of this hill. And almost no heating bill, no cooling bill, because the earth cooled it and the earth heated it. And it's a gem town Opals. That's it. That's it. That's what I remember. Um, in it was so crazy. Like the concept of it, even back then and now you're seeing more and more people who are building earthcraft type houses where they're built into the earth and they're zero carbon footprint and they're um they're less material and more natural earth and whatnot. And I think that's so crazy. It's so cool. Like it's the concept of it to me is so awesome. Like you cut down less trees and you cut down less things and you use almost like the old Native Americans in the Southwest, where they made adobe huts and adobe, they built things into the cliff and that kind of stuff. And I don't know, just the concept of it is so cool that um, I've always kind of wondered about building a house that was just 100% part of the earth, and um, yeah. But anyways, I seen that video and it was a very cool video. So, um, anywho, we are for later this week. I have a couple metal bands that I got to get out of the way. I do have to get um, some other. The Living End is going to be one of the ones that I do. I know there is a video for Big Day Out, which is Living End at Big Day Out. I want to say it's E Boogie and Second Solution. I seen it years and years and years ago when it first come out, and I have not seen it since. So we're going to do a reaction to it because it's been so long since I saw it that I don't remember it. I just remember it being fucking amazing, but I don't remember what all it was. Uh, Chris Chaney is really one of my idols, songwriting wise. Like Chris is. I would almost compare Chris to sort of your version of Brian Setzer. Have too well thought out and planned for underground living. um, I've seen some amazing stuff, man. Like I've seen people build these houses with just some of the most gorgeous details, and you think, oh man, it's an earth house. It's going to be ugly or it's going to be whatever. It's going to be dark and dingy. And it's not at all. Like it blows your mind what you can do. And even tiny homes, with tiny home technology, especially here in America, we are seeing more and more people get away from owning the big homes because it sucks. We're buying this house and oh god, it's killing me, man. Like fucking between the painting and the taxes and the city shit of having to have it up to code for this and this and then just everything else. It's just horrible. Like I hate it, and I'm really missing living in that truck. I'm missing just being able to start the engine up and go wherever I go, and wherever I end up at 7-8 o'clock at night, that's where we chill for the night. And we could eat, watch TV, and just everything in the truck. And unfortunately, I can't do that now because I do have a son I have custody of, and went through a brutal divorce, and so I got another 7 or 8 years. But I promise you, in 7 or 8 years, something's going to change. I don't know, man. Triple J has unleashed heaps of awesome Australian talent and gives all new talent the platform to perform their talent. So Triple J, what is Triple J? Is that like a talent agency? Is that a record label? Is that, I'm not sure what Triple J is. So I'll definitely write it down and look into it if you can tell me what it is, because I'm not familiar with it. But it's a radio platform. Okay. One of the crazy things, when I got into internet radio shortly after I got this damn brain injury, I got into internet radio as a way to occupy myself, as a way to get my thought process back, as a way to get my speaking skills back and get comfortable again doing interaction with people. Because trust me, it was pretty bad. Like when it happened, I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want to see anybody. I had this really ugly scar, man, that it was so nasty. Like it was right down to the fucking skull bone. And it helped a lot. But it also allowed me to learn about a lot of really good new music. That's how I discovered Blake Saban. It's how I discovered Cassidy Paris. It's how I discovered Bridget Pross. It's how I discovered so many of the bands that Kevin Bloody Wilson I discovered, because again, you go searching and Rudy Brown from Scotland, I was listening to his stuff, and in the process of listening to Rudy Brown, Kevin Bloody Wilson come up and said, "Hey, if you like Rudy Brown, you got to listen to Kevin Bloody Wilson." Never heard of him. First thing that popped up is Kevin Bloody Wilson, the kid he swears a bit. Oh, laughed hysterically. Oh, that's such a great song. And, and I heard the song about the vicar. And then I heard, do you fuck on first dates? And it was just from there, it was like, oh, that's brilliant. Like, we don't have anyone in America who has the balls, the testicular fortitude, to sing about stuff like that. Because, oh God, America would lose its fucking mind if we had somebody like Kevin Bloody Wilson over here singing songs like, Absolute Cunt of a Day, or, you can't say cunt in Canada, or, FUPC, or some shit like that. Like if we had a comedian traveling around who was singing these songs, oh God, Americans would fucking crucify him. Rodney Rude. I've never heard of Rodney Rude. Rudy. Because I heard Rudy Brown, I think is, I'm almost positive it was Rudy Brown. Like it was, I'm going to look this up because I'm almost positive. Rudy Brown, comedian. Not really anymore. It was a famous Scottish comedian. It's gonna bug me now because maybe it was Arnold Brown. No, I know Billy Connolly. No, it wasn't Arnold Brown. God, hold on. It was Yeah, I don't even remember who the hell. I thought it was Rudy Brown, but I don't know. Anyways, it was some Scottish comedian or British comedian who was similar to Kevin, and it turned me on to Kevin. And yeah, Rodney Rude, yeah. Let me write that down. Rodney, come on. Oh no, my pen's going to be a dick, huh? Okay. Rodney Rude. The closest one we have to Kevin would be oh, damn it. Stephen Lynch would be probably the closest we have to Kevin. And Stephen does some stuff that's kind of like that, but he's nowhere near as over the top as what Kevin is. So, yeah, definitely send me the link if you want to send it on the Instagram or whatever. You can, for sure. Absolutely no problem with that. I'll check it out. I love comedy. A huge comedy fan. Sadly, most of the comedy I know is American. So I think other than Kevin and Jenny, I think the only Australian comedian I know is what's his face? Is it not John Jeffries? Jim Jeffries is I think that's probably the only other Australian comedian I might know other than Kevin. So and I'm not a big fan of Jim because Jim is so, policy wise, politically wise, Jim and I are very far apart on what we believe. So, Jim, don't take this the wrong way, but I believe very strongly that as an American, I don't know the first thing about Australian politics, so I should probably shut the fuck up about it. And I kind of feel that way about Jim. Like, how are you going to be Australian, grow up in Australia? You don't come to America until you're like 35 years old, but you're going to come over here and get a fucking TV show, talking shit about American politics. Well, sorry, you're not American, so shut the fuck up. Like, I don't want to hear your opinion on, I don't want to hear your opinion on American politics if you're from Scotland or if you're from Britain or if you're from Australia. Do I know American politics are fucked up? Absolutely. Both sides. Okay. And I'll say that freely. I am not a fan of the Republicans. I am not a fan of the Democrats. They are flip sides of the same shit covered virus infested coin. Sadly in America, I can kind of take this right here and, I can say dull side, shiny side, and I can just go like that. And, oh, well, let's vote dull side, and I'm going to get the same shit show that I would get if I had voted shiny side. So, Donald Trump was a windbag, but Joe Biden is a senile old moron, so one is not better than the other. They're both full of shit. and they're both screwing up America, and they're both, both sides want to take away your personal liberties. It's just a question of which liberties are the parties, and that's what the big argument is. The argument isn't over who's right or who's wrong in America. The argument is over which rights are we going to take. The Republicans want to take your right to an abortion. They want to take away your, right to protest. They want to take away this right. The Democrats want to take away your guns. They want to take away your right to free speech. They want to take away your right to drink certain things or to have oversized, you can only have a 20-ounce drink, not a 64-ounce drink. And that's really all it is. So, yep, that's exactly it. Money grubs feathering their own nests. Every single one of them, Gosh, Joe Biden can't remember what fucking room he's in, let alone country. Biden it's terrifying. And, there's, I don't mean to get into political talk in this, but, there's all this talk about whether the election was rigged, whether it was stolen, whether it was this, that, or the other thing. And I'm not going to come out and say that it was rigged or that it was stolen, because I don't agree with that wholeheartedly. But I do find it very, very hard to believe that a almost 80-year-old man who is senile and can't talk in a complete sentence got almost 15 million more votes than the first black or the first African American president, who had a historic turnout during both elections. So I find that really suspicious. Something isn't right. I'm not saying the election was stolen. I'm not saying the Democrats cheated. I'm just saying 2 and 2 is adding up to 5 here. Okay. I don't know. I don't like either side. I'm really of the mind that, truthfully, the whole system needs to be rethought. The whole system needs to be redone. We need to start from scratch, so yeah, exactly. And, and that's the thing. Look, I stress this on my channel, getting back to the thing. When I do these videos and I end with be well, treat each other with kindness, and remember that music heals. Be well means it's very simple. Be safe, be well, be in good spirit, be happy. Treat each other with kindness. Again, self-explanatory. Kindness is not hard. It's a smile. It's saying hello. It's helping somebody where you can. You can't help everybody, but sometimes little shit, like if you see someone struggling to grab something off a higher shelf in a grocery store, simply say, hey, can I help you reach that? And maybe they'll say, no, I got it. Cool. But maybe they say, yeah, that would be awesome. And you reach out and you get it for them and you move along. You've taken 15 seconds to help someone. The hatred that people spew, the ignorance that they spew, the I don't understand it. My brain doesn't comprehend hatred. I There's a lot of things in life that I don't like, but I'm not going to hate somebody over it. This is so simple. Like, look, I don't have to agree with you on politics. That's okay. You like politician A, I like politician B. Awesome. You know what? We can agree to disagree on that. Because maybe we both like Jimmy Barnes. Maybe we both like Star Wars. Maybe we both like Foster's beer. Maybe we both like the barbecue. And hey, we can have an awesome fucking barbecue while drinking some goddamn beer and listening to fucking some Jimmy Barnes or some John Farnham or some Midnight Oil or something and never fucking talk about who is the president. You know what I'm saying? We're going to laugh. We're going to have a good time. We're going to have some great food. We're going to have some great music. And we're not going to think about how bad we're being by the government. That's simple, bro. You vote for who you want to vote for. Do I agree with abortion? No. I would pray and I would hope that there was a better solution for a female in that situation. But it's not my right to say. And I don't have to answer for it. At the end of the day, you have side A saying, oh, it's a sin. It's horrible. You have side B saying, it's my right. And at the end of the day, the only person you answer to for it is that man up there. So it doesn't matter what I think. It's not my place to tell you whether it's right or wrong. It's not my place to tell you how much you can drink. It's not my place to tell you what you can put in your body or take out of your body or take off your body and add to your body or any of that other political mumbo jumbo that they're throwing at you to confuse the issues. And that's it. The basic principle is to respect the knowledge. Be well, treat each other with kindness. And the biggest one, I'm going to have t-shirts, I'm going to have hats and all of that for this. Music heals. This right here would have ended me without music. Even if I survive it physically, without music, without me having music when I had music, without the radio show, without the podcast, without all of the people who let me come on their radio shows and talk about the shit that I know, I would have just sat on the couch and I would have just mindlessly played video games, or I would have mindlessly done dumb stuff, and I would have been a whole different person. I would have never got my personality back. I would have never got back my sense of humor and all of the things that this took from me. When I sit in my darkness, when I have emotional breakdowns, because one of the things that this caused was my frontal cortex is damaged, which now means that I have sort of a lack of ability to filter emotion. So I get overwhelmed very, very easily. When I'm crying, when I'm just overwhelmed and my brain can't process, this right here, this is my refuge. I come and I do these videos and I focus on music, and it takes all of this and it brings it back to this, so that I see straight and I think straight, and and it's Hoodoo Gurus. Dude, that is a band I have not heard the name in a long time, the Hoodoo Gurus. Yeah, the Angels, yeah, or Angel City, or whatever you wanted to call them. The craziest thing, Angel City, or the Angels, and Rose Tattoo both were bands that obviously kind of predated the hair metal thing here. England, Scotland, you had Sweet and Slade, bands like that. Y'all had Angel City, you had Rose Tattoo, you had Screaming Jets. And those bands, when you talk about bands that influenced hair metal, when you talk about bands that sort of laid the foundation for bands like Poison, Motley Crue, Guns N' Roses, Dokken, Warrant, all of those bands, AC/DC, another one y'all had. All of these bands that kind of laid the groundwork for what came in LA. You don't hear Rose Tattoo and Angel City mentioned, even though huge influences on Guns N' Roses, on Motley Crue, on Little Caesar, on so many of the LA bands, Faster Pussycat, LA Guns, Shark Island, Junkyard, the Sleazebees out of Denmark. So many of these bands, the basis of their sound come from Rose Tattoo and Angel City. And, you hear people, they were influenced by Slade or Sweet. No, they weren't. Quiet Riot was influenced heavily by Slade, but there are so many of those 80s and 90s LA hair metal bands that were influenced by Rose Tattoo that, and again, Angel City, Doc Neeson, man, was that dude left a big fucking shadow. Like, Doc was one of those guys that I wanted to be, straight up. Like, if there's one guy, truthfully, that I can name that I wanted to be as a 11-year-old kid, it was Doc Neeson, bro. Like, Doc had a sound, and he had a style, and he had the charisma, and the dude, he was a fucking rock and roll star, bro. So, hey, you want to know where my roots are? It really goes kind of back to that. As a kid who wanted to sing, as a kid who wanted to play bass, as a kid who wanted to be a rock star, obviously Ted Nugent was in there. You had early stuff. Ozzy was in there, but Doc Neeson for me, bro, like, just straight up. He'll be one of the very first guys that I name as one of my biggest influences, way back. And I don't even remember what record it was. My uncle had a couple of his records, or a couple of the records that Doc was on, and those were the ones that I just loved. So, anyways, with all that said, we're going to start doing the reviews. I got more videos coming over the next few days. I'm going to be pouring some concrete, even with a broken foot, over the next couple of days. So the videos will be kind of slow in the beginning of the week. But by middle of the week, I'll have more videos up. I'll have some reviews coming. We're going to have more podcasts up. And I thank you guys for hanging out with me. I really do. Again, as I said at the end of this video, and I want everyone to know that watches this later, I don't take this for granted. I really don't. Your time, your comments, they really mean everything to me. I truthfully started this channel just as something to do. I did not honestly believe for a minute that anyone would give two craps about some old guy with stupid eclectic tastes, what he had to say about music. And in 6 months, I've picked up about 12,000 subscribers and pushing 1 million views. So every one of you guys, man, it means everything to me, bro. And I look forward to this. And We are just starting. I've got so much more planned for this. But in the meantime, Mr. Shields, please be well. I want everyone, again, treat each other with kindness. Remember that a smile goes a long way. You never know what kind of day somebody's having. And, if nothing else, man, just throw music out there to people. This is what I recommend. Hey, this is my favorite John Farnham song. I see you're going through some stuff, and I really think this song or get you out of a rut. Hey, this is my favorite Jimmy song. This is my favorite song by Creator. This is my favorite song by Nightwish. This is my favorite song by The Cure. This is my favorite song by Love Bites from Japan. This is my favorite song by it could be Post Malone or Taylor Swift. I don't even care. Just spread music, spread love, spread kindness. But with all that said, and I love that you do it, bro. I really do. It never too old to learn. Like I was saying earlier, even with 2 million songs, there's still whole things that I'm missing. If I don't do this video, I don't ever listen to John Farnham probably. And that's a huge gaping hole in my collection. I don't have Johnny Diesel in my collection. I don't have so much more, so I learn as I go, bro. I teach you what I know. You teach me what you know. And together, we create a fucking rock and roll army. So, yeah. But be well, bro. We're going to wrap this up. See you real soon. Remember, the music heals. And be well.